Welcome back to the Mahi Talks podcast. I'm your host K9, and today we've got a special guest. Well, actually not too special because if you've been following the Mahi Dogs, you should already know this individual. But across from me is my boy.
My name's Leonard, aka IamLe7nny.
Awesome. I've invited him on to the podcast so we can just talk about his own brand and a couple of questions that I got burning in the background. So let's get into it. All right. Obviously, before we start off this podcast, we've got to start off with a Nothing But Love segment. So I'm going to let you take that away first, being the guest.
I should have thought about this before because you do this all the time. Nothing but love.
Nothing but love.
I'm going to... I don't know. I'm grateful for a lot of people, but I guess I have to pick someone.
You got nothing to show love for
No, I do.
in the week?
You know, I'm gonna say nothing but love for my mums because I technically have two because it was their birthday last weekend. I managed to call them and say happy birthday.
That's beautiful. Nothing but love, man.
Yeah.
You said nothing. My nothing but love is for this episode. This is our third attempt doing this episode. The first one we did, I didn't set the audios correctly, so it was just a shambles. The second one we did was on during COVID. Yeah. But it was a bit I'm not going to say it was a mess, but it was a bit...
You weren't happy with it?
Nah, I wasn't too happy. I wanted that raw... I wanted to smell your musk. When you breathe, I want that to hit my nose. So I'm saying, I have nothing but love for this episode. Episode 7, I think.
I gotta catch up. Actually, I'm a couple episodes behind, if I'm being honest.
Mate, that's all right, man. You know, we're gonna just keep going, keep nutting them out. So I am gonna introduce your life, and you're gonna see how well I did.
All right.
I've written up a little spiel here.
Should be interesting.
Leonard McDougall, raised and born in Whangarei. During his youth, he would consistently dog the boys and not come out on the hits. And he would study graphic design, his one true passion. He took his passion down to Auckland, where it slowly sizzled out and smouldered. After picking up a few jobs, he finally landed a dream job, which taught him the graphic design industry, where he kind of picked up the, love for it back, and then kind of dropped again. But at least he had more knowledge on what graphic design was. Taking the world into his own hands, he jumped on board with his fellow brothers on an adventure through entrepreneurship, where he got involved with Engine Room, Inner Native, finally ended up in Mahi Dogs, us, and of course VTL Clothing, which will be the main topic for today. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome IamLe7nny to the Mahi Dogs podcast. Mahi Dogs, welcome, Lady, welcome.
Oh, thank you. That was actually pretty good. A couple things were incorrect. That's okay. It's a brief overview. That's right.
I've summarised 28 years into 3 paragraphs. Obviously, I was just trying to point on some of the main things. When I talk about life, like obviously living, and I guess being born and living in Whangarei, then changing to go somewhere else, then coming out, then finding a good job, and then taking it into your own hands, freelance and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I was born in Auckland, but that's cool. I pretty much grew up in Whangarei anyway.
Shit. It's just the same,
Yeah. I mean, you got everything else
pretty accurate,
right?
It's
pretty accurate, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to start off with some questions. That way, I guess the audience can kind of figure out a little bit about you. So let's just focus on you for now. I'm going to hit it lightly, and then we'll hit it a little bit more deeper after. So it's only 4 questions. So, what amazing adventure have you been on lately?
Recently, technically, actually, I got this idea last year. Me and my sisters decided to start a clothing brand. Now, I say we started it last year, like we were like, yeah, let's go and do it, and we didn't do anything. And then it came to maybe June this year. I actually just started pushing it. I was like, oh, let's go, let's actually make something and get it out there. So far, we've managed to come up with our first t-shirt design, which you happen to be wearing.
all thought out, baby.
So we've managed to come up with our first t-shirt and hoodie print We've got all our social media set up. There's a couple things that we still need to do, but in general, we're basically ready to go. Well, we've kind of slowed down this last month, but yeah, I'm just glad that we've actually managed to do it.
That's been an awesome adventure for you and your whānau there, I guess.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun, and my sisters have slowly been getting more and more enthusiastic about it. So that's it's kind of helpful.
Sick. Yeah, I honestly don't mind. I think there's going to be that times when you'll be super busy, and then it'll be like climaxing, which is releasing the shirt, and then there'll be a little bit of a rest, and then kind of build back up. So kind of like a nice little wave. What would your perfect morning routine consist of?
I'm trying to build into like a proper morning routine, like getting up and not just going straight to my phone, because I do it every morning. But basically, because we start work at 10, I can sleep until about 8:30. Usually, sometimes I'll sleep until 9. But if I get up at 8:30, then I can at least try to have breakfast, have a shower, get changed, and my goal at the moment is to try and get into work before 9:30. Like that, I just made that this week, so I did it yesterday and I did today as well. So yeah, get up at 8:30, maybe have breakfast, have a shower, and be ready by like 9:15, and then out the door.
Okay.
So I try to keep my mornings nice and short.
I'm all about that intermittent fasting, baby. Breakfast is a construct by cereal companies.
It could be, like breakfast being the most important meal of the day, it could be just a complete lie.
That slogan, it's
Yeah.
one of those wives' tales handed down to us. All right. If your 15-year-old self manifested right now for 10 minutes, first, it's a kind of a two-part question.
Yep.
First one is, would he be proud?
Okay, yeah.
You were able to kind of say, you can take a look of the work and success you've gone through today.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part of this is, what would be the most important thing you would tell him?
Oh, okay. So if my 15-year-old self appeared, I just walked into the room, I think my 15-year-old self would be proud that I actually managed to do design, because I've been wanting to do it since high school anyway. Trying to think, what were my goals in my high school? Like, it was that. Probably, I don't know. I mean, yes, no? I can't think of
You would
any.
hope that he would be proud.
Yeah, I would hope that he'd be at least happy that I got something sorted.
We're still going through our goals, obviously, throughout life.
Yeah,
It's only a checkpoint.
Yeah, I'm still making new goals every now and then, And the second part was...
What would be the most important thing that you would tell him? Doesn't have to be like information, like go bet on this. Could be like what's the word for when you like say a good quote? But it's like remember this. Every sun has a moon, and when one moon rises, the sun.
Advice.
I don't know. What's the most important thing you would tell him?
Two things that I can think of. One is to get better at cooking, like younger, so that when I first left home, I was a lot more solid, because I was terrible when I first left home.
Solid as in?
Like being able to just like go get groceries and cook, then just like buying like Weet-Bix and just living off Weet-Bix. And then the second thing would be just to hit the gym. I like get hooked into the gym early.
Look at me. Look at what you did to me, 15-year-old boy.
All your choices led to this.
It's still not too late for you to jump into the gym. I'm going to ask you this question when you're 30-something. And I'm going to say 27-year-old Leonard walks into the room. What are you going to tell
him? That's probably the
so
only
you go
advice.
for more the physical side of things instead of like the mental side of things. Like instead of like trust your instincts of finding graphics design.
Oh.
You tell them actual real world facts. I'm stuttering at the moment.
Or maybe like I would definitely say those two. Maybe something like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It'll definitely be those two.
We're definitely
Because
gonna
I
have
feel like everything else you can kind of just pick up as you go along. But
you're on your own boat.
if I started early with those, I think I'd be a lot more solid.
Yeah. That's definitely one thing I would also say towards myself.
Oh, save more. That's why I was, save more.
Learn financial literacy.
Yes.
Very important topic, guys. Hopefully Vital will go over in their podcast. Maybe we'll go over it one day in our podcast, but the man knows financial literacy. Awesome. Obviously some good questions.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get straight into Vital Clothing. VTL Clothing. Is that at Vital Clothing on Instagram?
Yeah, at Vital Clothing on Instagram.
What's your story and what's your why? What's your story? What's your why? What is this? What is Vital?
Oh, okay. So the main goal of hang on a second. Let me take it back a little bit. So the main reason I wanted to start it was so that me and my family have something to do, or me and my siblings have something to do as a family, because we're technically all dispersed across the country. So we're not all in one place. And after our dad passed away, it was basically a way to kind of give us something, or give us a reason to do something together. And if we were going to do something together, it may as well be constructive. So like, let's just do a business. And so they were pretty keen. And because I've got experience in design, Tina likes to draw, and we all have experience in marketing, or sales, I should say. We're like, let's just do a clothing brand. So that was kind of the idea behind it, was just for us to do something as a family. And then also for us to also express our creative abilities. And so I'm like, we don't really paint or anything like that. So I was like, let's just make clothes. So yeah, that's essentially why we started doing it.
That's the why we started. So and then what's the story behind Vital? What is Vital? What does VTL stand for?
So VTL stands for Violet, Tina, and Leonard. That's me and my two sisters' names. We technically have other siblings, so but it was just the three of us that decided to do it for now. Maybe they'll jump on later. I'm not too sure. But I guess the idea behind the clothing label is to kind of inspire other people to be creative or use their creative abilities on something. So that's the goal of it, anyways. So.
What was your slogan? Creatively being creative.
Creatively being
something.
We actually have a mission statement and everything, because I wrote it up. Damn, I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Mission statements obviously help out those within the team to kind of realize where this vehicle's driving, right?
Yeah.
You come to, I remember we were talking, and then you came to an epiphany or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was saying, I think we want to be kind of like a whānau brand or something. Like
yes.
What was that?
So in terms of how we started, it was technically a family project. Then we realized that one of the issues, mostly with a clothing brand, is that there's so much competition, and the market is just completely saturated with it. But like you said, I kind of had an epiphany where the product itself isn't the clothes. The product that we're selling is actually family. And if someone can get on board with that, then they'll buy anything that we put out. Now, I actually had this conversation with my sisters as well. And when I realized that, I was like, actually, you know what? The product that we're selling is family. I have this, actually, I'm going to quick research on my phone. I have this gangster as quote I just thought of when I was talking to my sisters.
Yeah. So when you say family, so you're going to be utilising that throughout your brand. Is that kind of through the imagery or the words you say or the content that you put out? Like how are you going to get that? How are you getting that put across?
So I guess the way we're going about it is our content that we do put out is kind of based around... has the goal of inviting people to become part of a family or a part of a group, because it's kind of human nature to kind of be part of something. And I guess so. But in terms of like for our backgrounds, because me and my siblings aren't technically blood relatives, but we've become a family despite that. So part of that influence kind of comes from our own upbringing.
Families, all family is that kind of those experiences you guys go through, right? You don't have to be blood. Right?
Yeah, like we kind of have a saying in our family that love that makes a family, not blood.
Love. Sorry. I was talking over that. Could you say that again?
Oh yeah, sorry. We have a saying in our family that love makes a family, not blood.
Jeez. Yeah. That's almost a vital slogan right there. Put that on a shirt.
Basically, yeah. It's good.
I do like how that kind of, will I be seeing a shirt with that on one day in the future sometime,
Maybe. But in terms of like the stuff that we put out, like we have ideas with podcasts, just talking about our own upbringing, but also just talking about stuff that we like, because we don't want it constantly being about our everyday lives, but we want it to be like theme of it.
Yeah, that's where you guys were shit talking Greece, right?
Yes, yeah.
But the Mahi dogs had to step in.
No, we like Greece. It's just we didn't realize at the time, because we were watching as young kids, what was actually being portrayed on the screen.
I think for the time it was, back when you say that during that time, I think parents were giving out beatings left, right, and centre, right? So I think
yeah, probably, yeah.
That time it suited. Maybe this time it wouldn't, because you can't even. I don't know what the political words are behind hitting a child, but you can't do that now. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, just as you look for your kick-ass slogan, I do got a couple of questions here, because obviously one thing I love about you is that you've bought, I'm not going to say you brought your whānau together, but you and your sisters come together to create something so you can kind of have something to do together. Now, whether they're bringing the money, whether it's just creative outlet, you guys are still moving in that. I keep saying whānau. I don't know what words you guys are trying to use for vital, but being that whānau, I guess, group, kind of is going to be your whānau brand anyway. So because you are it, and now it's going to become your brand and stuff like that, it'll be just easy. Like it's not going to be hard for you to be like try and pull something out your ass.
Yeah, exactly. Like because we've realized that family is essentially the product. We've got so much more, like so many more things to work with compared to this is the type of shirt that we made and this is the type of hoodie that we made. Like for us, it just feels like we're just trying to constantly sell something.
One thing, did you find your quote?
Yeah, I did.
Let's just go for your quote.
Because, what did I say? Blah, 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 blah. So I've had issues in the past where on TikToks, may have said something that I probably shouldn't have, and it pissed off my sisters. And I was like,
"What? Did they get angry because of
it? They got angry about it.
But
it was a joke.
Was it? Oh, was it the one?
But they were upset about it.
We weren't talking about not the Katara one.
No, not the Katara one. Oh, so there's another one. There's another one.
Man's out here causing drama.
Yeah, right. First, it was I made a TikTok about how my sisters were messing up. One of my sisters messed up a photo shoot.
Oh.
And I called them amateurs in the TikTok.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun way to kind of get it.
Yeah, it was a joke. I was like, bro, look at these amateurs. Like, just making fun of them. But then when they both saw it, they were real upset. And that's because I didn't think about it properly. But that was the first time they've ever done something like that. And they put a lot of effort into it.
They are amateurs then, right?
Yeah.
Amateurs just means you're doing it for your first time.
No, that was the point I was making. Like, we're new.
They're probably going to be on the side of this. What the shit? Don't worry, I'll invite you guys on so you can claim your stake here.
Yeah, and I was trying to bring out the point. We're like, hey, we're learning, and so we're going to make mistakes like these.
I mean, even you're an amateur in the way of brand kind of thing.
Heck yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's a insulting word. It's just like
No,
a stab.
but they were upset about it, so I
can see why.
I had to talk to both of them. And then the other issue was we were rating, I would say, hotness.
Sexiness.
No, I'm going to say hotness.
You what, to try and blunten the
Yes.
lube it up before you go for it. Go on then.
Of Avatar characters, The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. And we completely forgot that we were rating...
Children.
Yes, the characters are
Children.
Yeah, so barely any of them are over 18.
So how old are you now?
How old am I? I'm 27.
So when did Avatar come out?
I have to double check, but it was definitely before I was... Oh, it was around the time that maybe I was like 15, 14.
Yeah, I think in the way that you were thinking about it was back as that 15-year-old.
Yeah, it was like that.
You know what the thing is that we still age, but the animation doesn't. So even though you start off both as 14 and 15, technically she'd still be 28 right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Loophole.
But what made it worse is that in the so we had different tiers, right? So like it was like the top tier was called Fire Lord, right? And then we had a tier that was like too young to rate.
Yeah.
And we put the little kids in those ones. So we actually had a tier where you technically would have put all of them into the thing.
It's just that, yeah, I think it's just that aging. Like you go to some tribute Avatar page and they'll be like, you know, oh, Qatar turned 28 today. You know, like they follow the birthdays and stuff, you know. So I'm going to come real, and I've never actually watched Avatar all the way through.
Haven't you?
I've seen pieces, but I've never seen it all the way through.
It's worth it, man.
I don't know. Well, now I've probably missed the bandwagon, right? Because now I'm too old.
Way. Like it's people are still catching up with it today. I think it's one of those shows that is timeless. Yeah. The only downside is that as it gets older, the graphics. Well, the graphics aren't
I think
old,
they're still good.
but the first book, season 1, is the graphics probably aren't, animation probably aren't as strong. But when you get to like second and third, it's good for its time. Really
It's
good.
just age. So, got a few questions here for Vital from myself. What has been, and obviously going to help you guys out, hopefully get some value out of this conversation with a new entrepreneur in Vital Clothing, brand, clothing, whānau, all that kind of stuff. What has been the most rewarding obstacle?
The most rewarding obstacle?
I know you've only been going, 6 months? I don't even know.
Yeah, we've only been going like technically...
Well, yeah. If just to preface this question, if you were to have it established on a hoodie or something, would that read 2021? Or, what year are we in? 2022, 2021? What?
Yeah, technically I'll probably do 2021.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
So even though you came together 2020,
yeah,
you still do it. Okay.
I probably would, yeah.
So what has been the most rewarding obstacle?
Oh, that's a good question. Most rewarding obstacle, probably. Oh, you know what? Probably the photo shoot.
On the ladies' side or your side, editing photo shoot?
I'll say both. And one, it was an obstacle because it took a while to get it done, and also because my sisters were still figuring things out.
In your own words, sorry.
I won't repeat those words. But they were still figuring things out. And then the best part about it was they actually did a really great job.
Just real quick, we are in the workplace, so...
Interns floating around.
Interns floating, okay.
Yeah, so my sisters actually did a really great job. Like, I was actually stoked with what we had. And then what it did was it gave me so much content to work on. And then when I did get that content, it was literally lockdown. And so those first few weeks of lockdown, I was just focusing on just pumping out content. So it was kind of this hurdle that we kind of had to get through. But once we had everything, I was just like stoked. I just had so much material to work with. And on top of that, we learned a lot from it. So like as a team, as a group, we learned how we would approach the next one.
Awesome. What are some pain points of starting a new brand? Or starting a brand, sorry.
For us, it's probably consistency or motivation.
Yeah.
So it's like we're all over the place with these words.
I can talk to the motivational part. Just spewing crap.
Yeah.
One thing about the motivational part, I think, for myself, I've gone from, not having a house, not having a girlfriend, not having a good job, not feeding myself, like pretty much the bottom of where I could be. And I think that journey was pretty much my most I've ever been motivated.
Yep.
Now I'm at a point where I've kind of got a lot of the things that I've wanted. I'm kind of like, my motivation is very low to do anything because I'm like,
yeah,
I'm good. I gotta find I gotta re-find the fire. I gotta find the fire, mate, because it's killing me. Is that kind of like with you as well? Do you kind of?
Well, I mean, the good thing, at least, and I can tell with like you and with me, is that we're at a point where if we wanted to start something, we know exactly how to go about doing it. Like, and I'm grateful that I'm at that point now. The only issue is actually doing it. So like, I know how to plan it. I know how to set it up, and if I don't know how to do something, I know how to find out what I need to know to go and do it.
My man, we're entrepreneurs. Yeah. We are there. We're just lacking the motivation.
Like the mindset has changed. So the only issue is like, and I feel like I kind of understand it from your point because what you had to do with Mahi dogs. But now that I'm with my sisters and we're working on this, I realize that their mindset is slightly different. And that's because they're used to doing something else, like just normal everyday. I'm not going to say normal everyday jobs because they actually really like their jobs, and they're really good at it as well. But
we don't have to keep psyching it. We understand.
Yeah. But it's when you're actually trying to start something, it's kind of a different wavelength.
It's like it's definitely. I understand what you're saying. It's like. Well, for us who've already kind of done it, we kind of know, hey, let's chuck this together, let's just do it. But when we take that back to before, it's just like, why? It was like, it's not seen as a task or a job. It's not like, it's like, oh, well, I go to work, I get my food and my money, and I know to go play games. Like, what else? Why would I do this or something like that?
Whereas like now, if we're stuck on something or we're behind on something, we realize actually we've got all this time after work on the weekend to just do it. It's
crazy. What is the most useful tip for those just getting into social media?
I'm up and down with social media. Like I like doing it. It's just it can be a hassle sometimes.
Why can it be a hassle?
For me, it's trying to think of something interesting to put out. And I like to put out quality. I know Gary Vee just says, put that out, just post up whatever. But personally for me, I like quality. And so I want to put out quality.
Remember, I was having this conversation with you that it might, by putting out too much quality, the girls might be too afraid to put out anything.
That is fair.
That's seen as the amateurs. And graphic design and social media. I'm going to play out that word because Leonard's obviously been given a hiding because of it. You guys aren't amateurs, but in the sense of having done it before,
Yeah, I think it's more, maybe it's probably me. Like personally for me, I just like having just quality work out there. Like I don't want to just put something out.
How would you get around that? Because it probably might come an obstacle.
Never.
No, not for yourself, but
everything
for your sisters.
Everything I put out will be a quality.
For sisters. Obviously, you've got to start somewhere, right?
No, this is the bar. They got to at least be at the bar or higher.
You know what? The hardest thing is, I'm going for that exact transition as well, because Ren's actually been posting on the Mahi dogs.
It works.
And then in my head, I was like, oh, I've been working so hard. But obviously, I've leveled up.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, how else is he going to level up and get better if he's not going to actually just do it?
That's true.
And so he's getting into it. He's been doing it. This week he's actually posted 3 posts. I haven't posted any. We try and keep accountable with each other. I think last week we didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But when I see him doing it, I'm like, yes. Let me put out something. I'm kind of burnt out, but with him doing it, it's like, yeah, that's cool. Let's go. However it may look.
Yep.
It's just content going for it. Go for it, Gary V. Whatever he says. Sorry, I have a couple more questions here. Oh, what was your tip?
My tip? Oh, for social media? Ooh. I think maybe have some sort of schedule. I think that helps because, like, if you have just a rough idea of what I'm going to put out on these days, it just saves you time when you actually try to put them together.
Saves your time is, I think, the biggest lesson there is don't make it too complicated. Don't try and be like, oh, Monday we're going to do this and this, Tuesday's this, for, all the way down to Sunday. Start off with something you can do. Do the most and best you can with what little you have. And what little you have might be skill, time, knowledge, all that kind of stuff. That gets built up over the days, months, weeks, years. But yeah, definitely having a schedule. Not making it too complicated.
Yeah, just like...
Don't focus on the numbers.
Just a rough idea, like, oh, I want to do this day, maybe I can do this. And then, like, the other handy thing is scheduling on Facebook scheduling through Facebook for Facebook and Instagram is so handy.
Man, I schedule it and I'll put it up and I'm like, I think it's just like a whole hard task for me. So
oh, yeah?
As I go through it, yeah, just scheduling.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't be bothered.
I like it because, like, let's just say I manage to do it in the day, all my stuff, and just schedule it, and I don't have to think about it until it goes up. I'm like, oh, my thing's up. Oh, my poster's up.
One thing I find hoha is when, like, for me, because we've got so many mediums, but what we're trying to do is connect everything up back to here.
Mm-hmm.
But a video would go up, right? And so then we're going to share that onto Facebook and then take that thing, share it onto a story, then maybe it might be a post, and then take that video, cut that up, put that
Instagram,
up
TikTok, and all that. Yeah.
Facebook, YouTube Shorts is what we're now moving into.
There's so many platforms.
I wish there was post, and then that will post to you an account for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and Facebook. Yeah. So one place, boom.
Maybe one day.
Who is your ideal customer?
My ideal customer?
Yeah, client, whānau member, welcome to the fam, whatever you may call them.
Welcome to the fam.
Welcome to the fam, bam.
Our ideal customer. But this is, technically we're still kind of testing the waters. So far, like, based on insights, our ideal customer is like 18 to 25 from New Zealand. And has interests in like I gotta remember what the insights were, but it was like has interests in like music, so probably like young creative is maybe our ideal customer. It doesn't really matter because we kind of had a wide range of buyers in terms of age anyway.
Yeah.
But in terms of like interest, I think it's been around the same, like pop culture type influences, music, anime people is kind of our target audience because Tina wants to do more anime type stuff, so we got that in the future.
I've got my I'm doing the Kicks exclusive shirt.
Yeah,
and I've got a hoodie, sorry, and it's Kicks X Tina, because we worked on it together. Or just T, I don't know what the vital T. Coming out soon. This is a bit of a hard one to answer, but why are you different?
Why am I different?
What's not you, sorry, vital.
Vital, why are we different?
Yeah. And I'm not saying you have to be different, I'm just...
Yeah, I mean, technically, product, like what we actually sell in terms of t-shirts was the same as just about any other
Everyone's got
t-shirt.
the same.
What makes us different is basically our our family story and our family values.
That heritage of who you guys are.
Yeah, who we are, what we're about, what we believe in.
I think that's actually with all brands as well. Like everyone's like, oh, anyone could start a brand and just put something onto a shirt or something like
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
The way to set you apart is like, it's just that story, that how you get it across that brand, like what affiliated with this brand and their content or whatever it is.
Because I, if you think about it like YouTubers, right, let's just say KSI. If you're a fan of KSI, then you're going to basically be a fan of anything he does. If you're a fan...
Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Right, whereas if you're... well, I don't, maybe... But if you're a fan of, like, let's just say Nike, you'll be interested in maybe all their products. Actually, that's a bad analogy. That's a bad analogy.
Anyway.
Yeah, basically, like, if you're into the person, you'll most likely get what they do or jump on board anything that they bring out. And that's kind of the same thing that we're going for. Like, if you just like what we do, you know, like who we're about, what we like to talk about, then what we kind of sell doesn't really matter.
Build out that community, eh?
Yeah.
That's really what you want.
And so, answer your question before the quote.
Oh, yes.
No, I pressed back. But it's kind of just sums up what I've been trying to say. Because one of the issues that we had is as much as we want to be open, we don't want to be too personal. Like, we want to keep things private. So there's, in some cases, we don't mention stuff in some cases we don't mention things, and others we might.
Does that mean you guys have a meeting and you like guys, all right, what about this? Yes, no, okay, we cross that off. Or is it just like
it's more like when it's appropriate.
Okay,
we mention it.
Yeah.
So one thing I can give you an example actually. One thing is when we wrote up the about for In the Native, as part of our backstory, because part of it is I'm not influenced, but the idea kind of came after our dad passing away. So when it came to writing up the about in the Native, I didn't mention it. I didn't mention Dad. I mentioned that someone special in our family had passed. And that's because we want to honour it while we did it.
Yeah.
But we don't need to...
You don't need to go...
put out all that information.
Yeah, I understand that.
Whereas on a platform like this, it's okay. It's appropriate to do so. And so... one of our main things is we just want to be mindful about how much info we actually put out, but also talking about it when it's appropriate. And so I was like, blah, 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 TikToks. And I said, actually, I'll probably read the message. So this is a message I sent to my sisters. I said, I'm also mindful that with story TikToks, it might be a bit too open and personal, and I don't want to put up something that's TMI, too much information. Which is why, if you notice, when I put our business description, I mentioned Dad as a special family member, because as much as our product is family, our family is not a product. That was like the quote, and I was like, hoo. Feel like a wise man. But yeah, so basically to sum it up, yes.
That's good.
We're selling...
I want to see that on a shirt.
Technically, we're selling, what we're about as a family.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that we put everything about us out onto the platform.
You don't have to,
Yeah, because we're not selling that.
But I don't think you have to go to the point where selling your family, you do.
Exactly.
Product. That's a good one. That's a doozy. I like that one. Make sure to keep that for, I don't know.
When we're...
2023 t-shirts.
2050 giant organisation is going to be on a metal plaque on the wall.
So as you walk by,
when you walk in,
touch it, you can always touch the plaque.
And it's going to be quotes, Leonard McDougall.
How do you get around mates rates? I think New Zealand has a horrible culture of mates rates. I myself have asked for mates rates because obviously I deserve it. No. But I understand, obviously, the other side of paying the full price for something when you believe in it and something like that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get around the mates rates? Has other people asked you for mates rates, or what's your view and perspective on that?
I've basically kind of laid down the law, but my sisters agree as well. So we're on agreement that if someone asks for discounts, we say no. If you want to support us, buy the shirt, pay full price.
Surely a Mahi Dog discount code for Vital coming.
Now, yeah, we have discussed within our circle that if you want to get something for someone, you're more than welcome to do it at cost. So within our circle, so like let's just say someone that I know that likes to wear Vital pink shirts.
I'm always rocking Vital, mate. Actually,
was actually keen. Then sure, maybe I could get one potentially at cost price.
I realise we haven't actually talked about this yet, but where can we find? Actually, we'll save it for the last.
Okay.
Nice little intro, and that's kind of the last kind of questions that I've actually got. I've actually kind of going to wrap it up for Vital, so it's actually perfect time to question those things there.
Cool.
Before I do, got a couple Mahi Dogs questions for you. One says, "Where have you been?" The actual one is, now that you have Vital, will you be leaving Mahi Dogs?
Not necessarily.
And then what role do you intend to play within Mahi Dogs?
Whatever they need me to. Yeah, I mean, like, I just figured, like, yeah, I'm still within the Mahi Dogs, but, like, I'm also working on my own thing.
And that's how we want that Mahi Dog, I'm not going to call it Mahi Dog, but that tree kind of, there's us, so myself, Ren, Poi, Ethan, Dens, you, taking that off the other side, so Dens has his carving. Hopefully Poi can do his carving, his tattooing. Hopefully Poi can go do his carving. That's your kind of journey now into that area. Marine. I think if we can all kind of help elevate each other up. So if you get big, make sure you don't forget us, eh?
Never.
On the podcast, got it exclusively
We're
here.
gonna do a Vital.
Leonard McDougall has said he will never forget his roots.
It's to be like 5 years later. Mahi Dogs. We're gonna do a Vital Mahi Dog collaboration.
No, I've been waiting for it. I'm keen. Whether that is
once we get through a couple and we're confident,
maybe you guys start off with your own stuff.
We'll get confident, and then we'll come back.
No, honestly, we're always keen for collabs. That's why, just off the topic here, trying to build up little brands here in the engine room, our workplace with the youth. Mm-hmm. That's why reason why build them up, have a collaboration, Mahi Dogs, break them down.
Have a monopoly over them.
I honestly just want to see, I think for myself, I'd love to see like a culture of people just getting in, doing their own things, getting out there. Obviously, it's not going to make main bank for now. But, if you got your side, you got your job, and then you have this as your side gig, why not? Awesome. Love it. I love this podcast. I'll actually be keen to sit down and talk with you again about more, maybe just smaller topics. So like Instagram itself and social media. Just choose topics and stuff like that. Where can we find Vital Clothing?
So currently we are on Facebook at Vital Clothing NZ, because there's actually another Vital Clothing out there. But we're Vital Clothing NZ.
Hey, what?
There's another Vital Clothing group on Facebook, and they're like a charity place in the UK.
How dare that charity case?
So they were open ages ago, and we're just like, hey, we're Vital Clothing NZ. But yeah, you'll find us on Facebook. Damn, I'm forgetting our Instagram. Give me 1 second. Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's just Vital Clothing on Insta. Yep, Vital Clothing _ on Insta. We're also on TikTok as well, Vital Clothing. And soon we'll be coming out with a podcast, most likely on Spotify and maybe YouTube.
And then clothing?
Clothing, you can find our clothing at innernative.nz. They're a group that we actually work alongside with, who have an opening this tomorrow.
Thursday, tomorrow.
And basically they've helped us out sell quite a few of our shirts as well as some of our hoodies.
So let me get this right. Facebook, Vital Clothing NZ.
Yes.
Instagram,
Vital Clothing _. Yep.
To buy the clothing. To buy the clothing.
Innernative.nz.
And then search for Vital Clothing. And obviously TikTok, Vital Clothing.
One day we'll have a website. One day.
It's nice having a website. Well, it's nice.
I bet. It's
nice. Awesome. That's going to wrap us up. Any last words from you, my friend?
No, thanks for having me. And
thank you for coming along and jumping on the Mahi Talks podcast. It's been a while. Obviously, I've tried to I've wanted to have more, obviously, conversations with you about other stuff, but I wanted to make sure we introduced you to the podcast first before we got into all that kind of stuff. Thank you guys for watching or listening, depending on where you're listening at the moment. If you want to follow more Mahi Dog stuff, you can find us Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. We're trying to consolidate everything, but most important, mahidogs.co.nz for our clothing. Hopefully you got some value out of this conversation. I know I did. Hopefully you did it as well.
Sure.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode on Mahi Talks. I'm being your host, K9. I've had our lovely guest, IamLe7nny, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Later.
Catch you later.